On March the 14th last year, when riots broke out in Tibet, the authorities reacted by clamping down on information and the entire region was sealed off. Tourists were evacuated and foreign journalists not allowed in. When the international press was allowed to visit Lhasa 2 weeks later, it was only as part of a tightly controlled, stage-managed tour. However, faced with a similar situation last week, interethnic violence in the city of Urumqi, capital of the Xinjiang Uighur Autonomous Region, the reaction was very different. Few restrictions were placed on foreign media, and within hours they were arriving in Urumqi in their dozens. Foreign reporters were provided with access to government spokespersons and given press packs backing up the authorities' take on the situation, an unprovoked attack by violent demonstrators on innocent passers-by, which the police had controlled with restraint. The emphasis seemed to be on managing the story rather than blocking it. Professor Wu Minsu of the Communications University of China feels this is a huge change in how the Chinese government treats potentially embarrassing news stories.
The way that the Chinese government conducted this case, the incident this time, is totally different from last year's, because the Chinese government has drawn the lesson from last year's case. You never know the truth. Why don't you let people know the facts from the truth instead of guessing?
And the truth in this case seems to be that the Han majority did suffer disproportionately from the mayhem and violence, a fact that the authorities would certainly be eager to transmit to the world's media.
Here at China Communications University behind me, the latest batch of future communicators and journalists have just graduated. Whether they are using the same strategy in years to come with the foreign media will depend very much on how successful the government feels it's been this time. Last year's riots in Tibet and the aftermath rumbled on in the news for several months, embarrassing the authorities in the run-up to the 2008 Olympics. This year's riots in Urumqi, which were far more serious, already seem to be fading off the front pages of the foreign media. Fergus Thompson, BON.